Well, spring is sort of here, and like migratory birds, myself and fellow Stardot members returned once again to the Ely in Camberley for the first ABUG South event of the year. It was a packed event, so I doubled up with Chris Needham for the weekend, sharing my table with his BBC Master and Electron. Chris demoed his BBC port of the Commodore PET game War Trek, which he'd faithfully coded using the authentic PETSCII font and graphics. He told me he'd been reminded of the game after seeing the rather lamentable Cascade version at the last ABUG. It's fair to say this one is miles better and plays really well. I now understand why people like these Star Trek style games, because when they're done like this one, they're actually enjoyable. As for my own Beeb, well, it was still in a poorly state, but I received loads of useful advice at the event, as well as an Issue 3 motherboard with its original chips courtesy of Mark Moxon, which I'm really grateful for. Along with the new dual wipe sockets from Baz, I foresee plenty of desoldering and resoldering in this Beeb's future. It's also just another reminder of how generous and kind this community really is. Being an Acorn focused event, there were plenty of Acorn machines to admire, including more atoms than I think I can ever recall seeing in a single room. I think I might have said that before, but this time really it was even more. Elliot was having lots of fun getting a colour card and disc pack working for his, and I did have to smile at this reel of solder doing double duty as a prop. The Archimedes machines were well represented too, including this A3010 fully restored to life again by Ant after it had suffered from considerable battery rot. 32-bit does come in many flavours, but don't let this miniature Amiga fool you. It's actually sitting on top of the screen of Dan's A3000, the last machine to be sold by Acorn as a BBC Micro. Dan also had his miniature BBC Micro with him, complete with tiny Usborne books on these dual-purpose desk monitor mounts. The level of detail that he gets into these models is really spectacular, and he very kindly gave me a matching mini cub for my own mini Beeb, which he gifted me at the last ABUG in Leeds. Despite its non-functional state, my Beeb was still able to get its own Acorn speech upgrade thanks to RadioFan. The kit features his very own TMS 6100 From emulator and an original TMS 5220 chip. After seeing it on Dan's Beeb, I was very keen to get one for my own. Rest assured, this will definitely be featuring in another video soon. It's even got its own Star Wars sounds. One Acorn I had not seen before was Flibble's Acorn network computer, which he was setting up to run multiple operating systems, including Windows Server, launched from within RISC OS, as well as a functioning X terminal. As he put it, this makes the machine slightly more useful. Some Acorns were not all that they seemed. Ant's unusual-looking Beeb turned out to be a housing for a NASCOM computer, complete with a keyboard that he'd built from scratch using donor keys from other broken Beebs. And after walking past it a couple of times, I had to do a double take with Stephen's Electron, as I realised that it wasn't a +1 I'd ever seen before. And no wonder, because he'd made it himself. It's a combined RGB to HDMI, Gotek and cartridge slot unit utilising the Electron -1 board and 3D printed materials that he designed himself. It's a really comprehensive bit of kit and very much one of a kind. Of course, not every machine at ABUG is an Acorn, and this event was no different. Given my own partiality to a portable computer, I was very happy to be given a tour of Stephen's Scion 7 netbook, which he had up and running. It's a really lovely machine, and Stephen's totally won me over to it with his enthusiasm. Not that it takes very much to convince me of the merits of Scion devices, of course. Not only that, but thanks to Brian, I've now come away from this ABUG with my own netbook, although it will need some special TLC as it's sadly not currently powering on. Brian did, however, have a fully working Sharp Zaurus PDA, a really incredible portable Linux machine with a screen that lives up to its manufacturer's name. And yes, to answer that timeless question, it does indeed run Doom, and rather well at that. On the gaming front, there were lots of new developments in the air. Chris Bradburn is working on a real-time strategy game for the Beeb, which is already looking excellent. I love how he keeps bringing these new genres to the Beeb, genres that it never had back in the day. He also took time out to give me a crash course in 6502 assembly, which has given me another idea for a video, but more on that another time. Tricky is already well into developing an R-Type style game, working title B-Type, that he envisions as a game development kit to let users build their own shoot-'em-up levels. As with all of his games, this one purrs along with grace and fluidity, and the level building concept is sure to be popular when he makes it available. Rich Talbot-Watkins, who had travelled from Spain to be at the event, treated us to a look at his as yet unreleased BBC Micro game Blurp. This brilliant platformer actually started life as an Archimedes game that he developed back in the 90s with Matt Godbolt, who was also visiting ABUG from Chicago. It was great to catch up with both of them, and also proof of the power of ABUG reuniting these two old school friends from across the Atlantic. The official star of the show, however, had to be Chuckulous, a new game released by Snugsy the night before ABUG began, ABUG Eve. This is a new game for the Electron, cleverly fusing together both Chucky Egg and Nebulous into what is a work of art. The game is jaw-dropping and had all of us staring at our screens in disbelief across the weekend. I only wish Snugsy could have been there to see just how popular this new game has proven to be. Well, the weekend flew by as it always does, and suddenly the tables were gone and we were all saying our farewells. But a huge thanks to Kieran once again for organising the event, and to everyone else who attended. And until the next time, goodbye.